2 reasons why you're constantly stressed every single day. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jelena. I'm a stress-less coach, I'm a wellness consultant, a nutritionist, and a mother of 2. And today, in today's video, what I wanted to really share something that's deeply personal. And then once I found out why and what is the reason of my stress, it transformed completely the way I look every single day and the way I think every single day. Now, before I figure out what's actually stress is, what's high cortisol levels, what's causing and everything, I was in a deep depression, a deep anxiety. I was a full-time working mom in corporations. I had 2 toddlers. I had all of the house and responsibilities on me. Every single day, I would be waking up with my to-do list, with all of these expectations of what I need to do, why I need to take the kids to school, and everything else. But the biggest problem of it all, it's because the stress keeps on coming and coming, no matter what I did, no matter how I tried to relieve that stress, with having nice warm drinks, with doing meditation, with going through massages, to trying to relieve all of these tensions that's happening inside of my body. I just couldn't do it. There was nothing shifting. And we have all of these beautiful people around us telling us, oh, relax, have time for yourself, go out for a walk, out for a jog, whatever you wanna and love to do. And these are all the valid things that we need to do in order to relieve our cortisol levels and to reduce the stress. But the biggest thing is that you can go and do all of these things, but until you clean your mind, the stress is still there. It's embodied in you. It will never change until you do these 2 things. And make sure you grab a piece of pen and paper, because what I'm about to share with you will literally transform your life the way it transformed mine. So before I give you these 2 things, I want to back up a little bit and really talk about what is stress. What is that cortisol? And a lot of my clients ask me, how do I measure that? So cortisol is a stress hormone. It's stored deeply inside of our bodies and inside of our brain. And it comes naturally, and we are all born with that. Why? Because thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, before the technology, before anything, stress response was a natural way of our bodies to tell us that we are in danger, that we need to run from a bear, that we need to run from a snake, that somebody wants to physically harm us. What does that mean? Usually men, years and years and thousands of years ago, they were more under stress because they were physically going to a bush, to a fire, to anything to grab the food and provide for their family. How life progressed and we came into this modern world, both men and women are constantly bombarded, but not with the physical stress. Of course, there's a lot of people, unfortunately, going through physical stress of war and things like that. But if we're thinking just in a standard environment, for example, you watching this video, we're constantly bombarded by what I call emotional and mental stress. Workload, family, commitments, and everything else. Our endless to-do list. So what this, so say a century ago, cortisol levels has anything to do with today's world? Because when we are thinking about it, we don't actually feel that we are physically in danger anymore. But we're putting so much mental load and emotional load on us that our bodies doesn't know really the difference if we're in physical danger, if something's physically chasing us, or there is this crazy boss that's trying to, put so much load on us and have so much to-do list that our bodies don't know the difference. So we are constantly waking up feeling stressed. So what does that impact us? If we're constantly in a stress response, this is what's happening with your body. When you're going under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, your mind is giving the signals to your digestive system, hey, stop everything that you're doing. We're going under a lot of stress. We need to shut down the digestive system. It's a first stress response. So imagine yourself being under constant stress, workload, kids, family, practices, soccer trainings, emails, texts on the phone, Instagram, comparing, all these stimulants bombarding you every second of your day. What's happening? Your brain is constantly telling your digestive system, we're in danger, you need to stop your digestion. And put all of the energy to your extremities so you can run and get away from that danger. Does this make sense? I hope it does. So if you're feeling very fatigued and sweaty and you're waking up at 3 a.m. feeling like you're sweating, like you have fever or anything like that, that's your stress response, pretty much trying to digest all of the cortisol levels that's built up in your nervous system. Remember a day when you felt very calm. Maybe it's a holiday season. Maybe you went on a beautiful trip. You are really calm and relaxed because you are on a holiday. But what happens is that the moment we switch from to do and go to relax mode, a lot of us go into a very fatigue and anxious, and we start getting sick, and we feel, oh my God, it's the first day of my holiday and I'm already sick. It's because you're finally giving your body a time to restart and reset. And when that happens, what happens is that your immunity drops, all of the beautiful bugs and bacteria goes, attacks your body, and you get sick. These are all emotions we go because of the stress response, because of the cortisol level. That's why if you're having a digestion issues, if you're having weight gain problems, if you're fatigued, if you're anxious, if you're depressed, if you're waking up with negative thoughts inside of your head, and then you're starting your day with a coffee, which is another addition to the cortisol, that's why you're shivering, and that's why you're constantly on edge. And that's why I want you to stay tuned, because I will explain to you 2 simple process on how you can shift that from today. But I want to be very transparent with you today. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't expect it to happen overnight. It will take time for you to embody this practice and truly, day by day, live it and start to relieve your stress. Now, before I continue, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click the notification button so you can receive even more videos and a similar content. Now, there's 2 things that's causing us stress. And please grab your pen and paper and write this down. It will sound very strange, but I will explain. First is unfulfilled expectation, and second is undelivered communication. So what does that mean? You're thinking unfulfilled expectation and undelivered communication. It's very simple, but yet we don't really realize that. And how I'm going to explain to you is in a simple example. So I'm married, and if you're in a long-term relationship, married, or just think about a loved one. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic love or any type of love. So imagine the situation. I'm going to give you an example of mine. I'm coming into the house and I see a huge mess in the living room. The kitchen is not tied up, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like I can't even get in the house, and it's not clean, and what they're doing all the time. And I'm bombarding myself with what? With unfulfilled expectations. Because what happened? I didn't communicate with my husband before I left the house that I would like the living room to be tidied up a bit, or I would like for him to make a fresh cooked dinner for the kids, or I will just simply like for a nice and peaceful warming when I come into the house. What's happening in this situation? So in my mind, I'm creating these stories that I'm saying to myself. I'm expecting him to clean the house, to done the dinner for the kids, to put them to bed, and I'm expecting them. I'm expecting them in my mind. But did I really sit down with him and made a plan and communicate that with him and said, hey darling, I'm going out for a dinner. Are you okay to, clean up a bit of a living room? Sorry, give them a dinner and put them to bed? No, I didn't say any of it. I expected him to do that without truly communicating. So what's happening? I'm opening up a door of my house. All of these expectations are building up inside of me, all of this stress and the tension and anxiety. I'm opening up that room, that door, and I'm walking in straight in my stress, straight in my high cortisol. It just switches whoosh, like a skyrocket. What I'm saying in my head, of course, or I'm mumbling in my head, I can't believe he didn't do anything. Do I need to do all of these things? Am I the only one who's looking after the kids? Am I only one who's looking after the house? And what's happening? I'm becoming grumpy. I'm becoming agitated. I'm becoming angry. Next situation, my husband comes in and I'm already pissed. I'm already pissed at him. But another layer on top of that, I don't communicate that I'm angry or that I'm upset. I start binging and whining and being frenetically crazy, cleaning everything, showing him unverbally that I'm upset. Have you followed the patterns? Have you understood what's happening in here? So you created a story inside of your head. I've done it as well. I'm guilty as charged. I've done this for the last 10 years of my marriage. We all do that. If you don't have a partner, if you're single, think about a situation with a friend, with a family member. It doesn't really matter. Think of the situation where you created an expectation inside of your head on how things should be in your environment, but you didn't communicate those things with your loved ones. That's when stress lingers inside of your body, inside of your mind. And then what happens? It doesn't stop there. You just put the light switch on. You started a small fire and you feel the fire is burning inside of you. But what do? You start putting oil. You don't go and communicate and say, look, I'm upset because you've done that. Or you do communicate, but not from a loving way, but from very angry, upset, anxious, depressed, fired on state where you bombard the people you love with very harsh words because at that moment you're upset. So what I would do, I would go into the kitchen, I would frenetically clean everything, and then he'll turn around and ask me with a very loving way, hey, what's wrong? And I said, nothing. And of course it's not nothing. He sees that it's not nothing. But I'm so angry and I'm so upset that it's easily to brush it off. And I'm building the energy, and I'm building the anxiety, and I'm building the anger, and I'm building the upset. And it goes up and up and up and up until it explodes. And usually for me, it explodes in the bedroom. When everything is calm, when we're supposed to be in peaceful and loving state, I will sit down in bed and start very harshly the conversation. I wouldn't start with the sentence, hey darling, I love you so much. Thank you for looking after the kids. but I felt a bit of upset because, there was no dinner. No, I will say to him, why didn't you make the dinner? Why do you expect everything from me? And then the argument will start. And the biggest thing is, he will usually shut off from the argument because he's not the person who will argue. He will shut off, he will turn off, and he will go to sleep. And then I will go to sleep with all these negativity and anger and resentment and wake up even more stressed. So if you find yourself in this situation, I want you to stop and I want you to pause right now. Because what I will give you is a solution on how you can stop from today feeling like this. How you can cut that stress out of its core and go back to being peace, being calm, and being centered. Now again, I don't want you to put expectations inside of your head. Here is me communicating this with you. Don't expect this to happen overnight. Don't expect it to happen in the next 5 days or a week or a month or 2 months or 3 months. This is something you need to practice every single day, pretty much till the rest of your life, until you stop reacting. So, how we do that? Firstly, we need to improve the communication part, because we all have expectation of how things happen inside of your life. But if we don't communicate that, that's when the stress happens. Then there is that huge gap of unfulfilled expectations and undelivered communication. Okay? So what we need to do is, let's say we go back a step and examine the situation I just gave you. So if I wanted to go out of the house and have a dinner with my friends, and my husband is looking after the kids, I will sit down with him and I will make a plan. And I will say, okay, honey, I'm going out for dinner for 3 hours. Let's say that's 3 hours. Can you please, if it's okay with you, tidy up the room with the kids a bit, make them dinner and put them to bed. And then my husband will say to me, yeah, sure. Or if he feels that he won't have enough time to do that, he will say, look, I don't think I'll be able to do that. How about I just give the kids food, put them to bed, and then we can do the tidy up in the living room in the morning. And I said, yeah, perfect. Okay, let's do that. So the moment I open up that door, there is no expectation that living room will be clean. I know he communicated with me that he's not capable of doing that. Does this make sense? A lot of the times we will be rushing, like we'll be out of the door. I won't have time to communicate that with him. But if I didn't communicate my expectations from him, then I need to stop expecting anything, because I can't read his mind and he can't read my mind. Nobody can. You can only be the one who's reading your own mind. So don't expect things if you haven't communicated that with them. Now, if in the situation that happens that you feel that this tension is building up, you expected all of these things, I want you to stop and I want you to think, what's causing the stress? That's the first question. What is the trigger that's causing you stress at this particular time? Maybe it's your kid that didn't clean up your room, even though you told them specifically that they needed to clean that room three times. And that usually happens with the kids a lot. Have you communicated properly with your children? I do it the same thing. I'm in the same boat. And sit down with them and communicate that and saying, okay, darling, I need you to clean up your room every second day, every third day, every day. And give them the reason why that is important. But then you need to connect that why to their why. And this is another topic that we are going to talk about. But think about in your work environment, in anything you're doing, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're an employee or employer, it doesn't matter. think about the last stressful situation that happened and analyze it in your workspace as well. Why did you become stressed over the situation? Why? That's the first question. The second question is, what was the trigger that caused it? And third, was that unfulfilled expectation or undelivered communication? Because I can guarantee you, in 90% of the cases, the reason why we are so stressed is because these two things: unfulfilled expectation, I will repeat again, and undelivered communication. So the next time you start feeling this anxiousness and stress, and you feel like something is happening inside of your body, I want you to stop. I want you to pause and think about how, we constantly send our kids or anybody to the timeout or the green zone. Put yourself in that green zone and think, okay, why am I going under stress? Is there unfulfilled expectation and undelivered communication? It's the same with yourself as well. Usually, when we're going under a lot of stress, it's because we put so much high expectations of ourselves that we didn't even communicate on why we are expecting those things out of ourselves. I know myself. I remember when I started my Life Food Balance, and when I started my Instagram channel, and when I, had all of these expectations, then everything will come in an instant. And when my Instagram didn't grow, when my business didn't grow, I was pissed. I was so stressed, and I was so anxious, and I was so depressed, until my coach stopped me, explained these two things on unfulfilled expectation and undelivered communication, that I stopped and I was like, oh my God, I was putting so much on myself and I didn't communicate realistically. And that's why I'm winding up myself so much. So what I want you to do is grab this video, hold it tight, listen to it over and over and over again, and think about a specific situation inside of your life that are constantly bringing you stress, and then analyze it. Is there unfulfilled expectation and undelivered communication? Make sure to pretty much make this as a new Bible to you, because it's going to bring you so much happiness and so much joy and so much fulfillment, because you're having a tool inside of your hands that's going to reduce your stress levels, reduce your cortisol, and help you go back to a balanced state and move forward inside of your life. Now, if you found this video very, very powerful, make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and make sure you follow my YouTube channel. Till the next time, with love and peace, Yelena.